Hello and welcome to CJB Games, Cameron here, and today I'm bringing you another devlog for Groundskeeping, a first-person multiplayer hotel maintenance horror game. On today's agenda, I wanted to make some slight adjustments to the current sprint. I realised that because the first playtest was such a disaster, I couldn't spend too long on Sprint 2 before another playtest should really start to happen, so I've decided to shorten it to the following tasks. Scoring system working, save and load working, playground area, enemy following the player when they're in range, and obviously multiplayer working. If I get these done, I feel like it would warrant there to be a second, hopefully better playtest session. So to start things off today, we're going to do the most pressing task, which is fixing the multiplayer. I decided to completely revamp the system and get a closer representation to what the final sort of packaged piece would be in the game. This meant, unlike before, where I'd have to worry about IPs and stuff, we wouldn't have to worry about that again, so it would just be a simple hosting and joining type thing. This meant I wouldn't have to worry about players' IPs, and hosting and joining would just be a lot simpler. To get all this done, I'm going to be using the Advanced Sessions plugin, which when hopefully done right will get it working similar to Steam, which is ideal as that's the desired platform I plan to release on. So after a lot of watching tutorials, creating blueprints and generally scratching my head, I finally have a working, in theory, host and join mechanic. I even managed to get the player's Steam name to come up in the menu, which is a great early indicator to whether this is actually working or not when we test it. There are still a few things I want to add to this, and the whole multiplayer aspect is a bit confusing to me at times, but this is great for now. So now that the boring task is out of the way, we can continue with some art. One of the big things I want in this game is detail, so today we're going to start by making the nails that can populate our fence structure. I made a simple FBX in Blender and brought them straight into Unreal to place them. I only made the one type of nail, but if I place them in a lot of different poses, I'm hoping that it will be hard to tell that it's a repeating asset. Next I added a simple rusty texture to it, and I'm ready for the next task. Ideally I want to get some vegetation involved now to really bring this place to life, but before I can do that I need the ground it sits on. In Unreal, I exported some of the surrounding meshes and used the Snap to Face tool in Blender so I could create a ground that would exactly fit my needs. After I finished the vertices, I filled them in and smoothed them out. Now with a little bit of land created, we can bring it into Unreal and get a material attached to it. For this material I wanted something rather detailed and tileable. I could spend a while creating something for this, but I think it would be a lot easier if I just got something from the marketplace that fit my needs. So I decided upon the grass landscape material by Project Nature. After making some tweaks to the size of the tiles and the brightness of it, I have something that I'll happily keep in my game. Now with the ground in place, we can populate it with foliage. Again for this, I helped myself to assets on the marketplace. I used the Megascans grass and temperate vegetation ground foliage package. I used the foliage tool to place all of this and then tweaked certain parts to make sure there was no clipping within the fence. So unfortunately, after placing all this, the level actually began crashing in the editor when loading it up. At this current point in time, I'm unsure why this is happening, so I felt it best to move the marketplace content to another level for now and then re-import it when I have a solution for what's causing the crash. With that said, we can move on to creating the first feature toy for the playground, the slide. I'm loosely modelling this off one from my childhood, and the theme I'm going for this whole look of this playground is a garish children's sort of area. This was by far the most complicated asset I'm creating thus far in the project, but nothing I'd consider exactly challenging. I created about half of it and then switched my attention back onto the surrounding playground grass areas. The next ground area was a quick one and just followed the same pipeline as the previous piece. Once in Unreal I used the default starter content texture until I can figure out what is causing the crash with the marketplace one. Then I created the third piece of the ground and that went into Engine, and then the fourth piece of ground really rounded off the area's foundations, ready for more detailed assets to be added on top of it. I think this is a good time as any to leave it there for now. I'm very happy with the progress I've made and excited to continue working on this second sprint. Thank you for watching, guys. If you liked the video and want to see more, consider subscribing, as I plan to detail the whole creative process of this game from start to finish. If you also want to support me further, consider getting my first game, Escape from Violet Institute, which is on Steam now.